When you look around my shop, you'll see a lot of tools. You'll see some expensive brands like SawStop and Powermatic. You'll see some mid-grade brands like DeWalt and Grizzly and ShopFox and Jet. And you'll see some cheap brands like all of the ones from Harbor Freight. But one brand that you will not see is Festool. And one tool in particular that you won't see is the Festool Domino. The reason that I don't have a Domino isn't because it's not a good tool. It is a fantastic tool. I've never actually touched one before, but I have looked at them at my local rockler, and I've seen lots of videos where people use them. It is clearly an excellent tool. But there are several reasons why I don't have one, and that's what I'm going to go over in this video. The first and probably most obvious reason why I don't have a Domino is the price. It looks to me like there are two different versions of the Domino. The less expensive version is about $1,300, and the more expensive version is about $1,800. That would make it the second most expensive tool in my shop after my SawStop. In addition to the domino joiner itself, you also have to buy the dominoes. You can buy an assorted box of dominoes from Festool for $315, or you can buy a set of router bits to make your own dominoes for another $60 to $80. That's really expensive. The thing that makes a domino really expensive isn't just the price, it's also the fact that it's a want-to-have tool, not a need-to-have tool. Of course, if you want to do woodworking with just hand tools, you can do that, but if you're going to use power tools, you need a table saw, you need a planer, you probably need a bandsaw, you don't need a jointer, you don't need a mortiser, and you certainly don't need a domino. I've made lots of different things, furniture, smaller projects, and I've never needed a domino. I've found other ways of doing what the domino can do, which is joinery. Specifically, it does mortise and loose tenons. I've done mortise and tenon joinery before. I've even done mortise and loose tenon joinery before, all without a domino. Which brings me to my second reason that I don't have a domino, and that is it's a one-trick pony. What I mean by that is it can only do one thing, and that's cut mortises. Now, it cuts those mortises very well, but that's the only thing that it can do, and there are other ways to cut mortises. And the mortises can really only be used for two things. The first is for aligning boards when you're doing a glue-up, and the second, the dominoes can be used for adding strength to those glue-ups. Now, if all I'm trying to do is align a couple of boards during a glue-up, I'm going to choose a biscuit joiner. This DeWalt biscuit joiner currently costs about $195 new, but I got this one for $50 off Craigslist. You can get other brands for between $60 and $75 though. I hear several people out there saying, well, biscuits don't add strength. No, you're right, they don't. But you know what does? Dowels. And I made this dowel jig for basically nothing out of just a few pieces of scraps. And dowels are incredibly cheap. Oh, and if you missed my video for making this dowel jig, I'll put the link right there. I generally like my power tools to be multi-talented. I like them to be able to do more than one thing. So the fact that the domino can really only do that one thing, kind of a deal breaker for me. For those of you who are currently looking at my mortising machine and thinking, well, that's a one-trick pony, I don't really have an excuse for you. I just really wanted one and I got it used for a couple $100. Now, the next reason that you won't see a Festool Domino in my shop is because it's kind of a status symbol. I could buy an Aston Martin. It's a great car. It's also very, very expensive. The problem is I would be broke, and it gets me from point A to point B. There are other ways I could get from point A to point B without going broke. I could get a Toyota or a Ford or a Hyundai or any number of other cars that do the same thing an Aston Martin does, but cheaper. The difference is, after buying the Toyota or the Ford, I'm still going to have money left over for gas. So I could buy a Festool Domino for $1,800 and the sustainer with all of the dominoes for another $300, but I'd much rather buy a whole bunch of other tools and materials and still have money left over. The next reason that I don't have a Festool Domino is because I don't like green, except grizzly green. That doesn't count. No, but seriously, the main reason that I don't have a Domino is because I can't really relate to the folks who use it. What I mean by that is, A domino is one of those tools that is inaccessible to most woodworkers, especially beginners. I still sometimes consider myself a beginner, even though I've been doing this for close to 20 years. I'm still at the stage in my woodworking career where I'm trying to keep costs down. I'm still buying cheap tools. I do splurge when I need to, but when I see folks using Festools, especially in a huge shop which is immaculately clean, I can't relate to it. I'd much prefer watching videos from folks who are finding other ways to do the same thing using tools that are more accessible for your average woodworker. As I've said in many of my videos, I don't want to take anything away from anyone who uses Festool tools. Festools? Anyway, if you have Festools and you use them and you like them, that's great. I'm very happy for you. I seriously am. Just the same way that I don't take anything away from anyone who drives a Bentley or a Rolls Royce. I have a car that's much less expensive. I like it. I use it. That's what works for me. I like my tools. I choose not to spend my money on something as expensive as a Festool. Even if they are top of the line tools. I've read reviews on them. I've watched videos on them. I know they are excellent tools. Top of the line, to say the least. Again, it's not my thing. And the final reason that I don't have a Festool Domino is because Festool hasn't given me one. So Festool, if you're watching, well, that'll do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you have a Festool Domino and you like it, please leave a comment down below. If you have one and you don't like it, definitely please leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear why. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, send the video to a friend, hit the notification bell, and I hope to see you next time.